Alright, welcome to thread review of the official home screen thread number 193. Alright,
Is this episode 10 now?
I do not know what episode it is,
It's
because last
episode
time we were wrong.
193. I'm gonna make 192 mini episodes,
Yeah, that's
and
good.
that will make this one 193.
Yep. Alright,
The mini episodes will never be released. That way I don't have to do real work on doing.
true. First screen, or firstly,
We're
let's
not
just
even
talk about
introducing
the,
ourselves. Come on.
let's just talk about the previous OP. So at least the center screen here is the evolution of that screen.
Yeah, I don't think that's the same dude. I think that's a different dude.
No,
Like,
dude. So the first screen is the last OP. The second screen, is the same dude, because he verified it. But the last one, I just assumed is the same dude because of the
because it's the same font.
yeah, and it has like spaced out, and he has the
Several
search bar
colors.
and just different icons. So
Yeah.
I just wanted
The
to
reason
show.
I think the reason I think that it's a different dude though is because those two posts are literally 2 minutes apart.
Yeah, yeah, true.
And
But he
I
also
mean
said
that's
like, please
pretty
teach
quick.
me how
I mean,
to KLWP. Well,
yeah, that's true.
the fun thing is that I this is a regression, right? So he totally didn't know. he does he doesn't really get it, but I think moving backwards is the right case here. And in any, like, the biggest thing is just Tuesday of November, right? Wednesday of
Yeah,
October.
that's the best. It's the best. And
Yeah,
today is actually a Sunday of December.
Sunday of
You know.
December. True.
Agreed.
So
Also, I think the biggest travesty, honestly, is the removal of that number 30/2019. That shit was the
Yeah.
best. Like that was the is like a subtle detail,
yeah,
but
like
And the icons, honestly. Come on.
overall,
well,
On the second and third screen, they're just boring.
yeah,
yeah, but like finding good matching icons would be hella hard.
yeah, but
Like if we just did
True.
Icons that were orange, I think that'd be tight. But
like
like
I kind of
mint,
like the first time we talked about the icons way too much last time. So just like a quick update on this. I think this guy should go back and then try to like improve on the previous one instead of working with the his new one, if he can do that.
actually, at this point, because we're giving him so much conflicting information, if he actually listens to this, just start over, bro. Just do a new rice, use a
This.
different image,
Yeah.
use different font, use a different icon pack, do something completely fresh, try to come up with something original. Because honestly, improving one rice until it's perfect isn't possible. You're like, if the idea is bad from the beginning, it's gonna be bad no matter how much you improve it. Um, so just start over. Like, and the thing is this shows that you are experimenting and you're willing to try things with custom, and so just keep that up and
Hmm.
start over, do a new one.
All right.
That's what I would say. Like direct advice for him: just fucking start over, do a new one. Okay, this one. Okay, this one.
Let me see.
I
I
have a
just have
couple words
to
about this.
enable the WebM
Are we
because I
gonna
have it
rate
rolling.
anything, or is this like a lot looser
Oh no,
in terms of structure?
I was thinking. Well,
Not rating the first one. This is the first one,
Yeah.
like
Oh, understand.
in the
Yeah,
thread.
we're just looking at the OP and how they updated it.
Yeah. So this is the first. I think this was posted last thread as well, if I recall
Yes,
correctly.
it was. It was posted. It was posted like the same day we recorded, which is why it didn't make it into the last video, because it
Oh, right.
definitely deserved to have been in the last one. But it was like one of the last rices posted, which is symptomatic of the fact that basically your rice doesn't get any attention in the thread unless you're one of the first 10 posters.
Yeah.
But that's just a problem that Adrift and Mango and In Existence and Uncle Leech created back in thread fucking 6, and have it's a tradition that will keep up forever.
Yeah. Whatever. This is just great. I don't know if you guys have the WebM open, but I have it on the video, and the animations are great. The aesthetic is
It's
just
not showing up on your desktop. At
no,
least I'm
because
not seeing
I'm
that.
only showing
the
I'm only
PDF, but
showing one screen.
it's quite easy to find it in the
Yeah,
thread.
just
Though.
scroll through the thread, find it. It's great. The animations between inventory and Walkman, which is like the app, the app drawer and the music player, of course. It's just great. And the implementation of the battery status in the call, the clock, and especially one thing that like really elevated this since the last thread, or since the last time we posted, is how you like tune down the Fox logo, right? Because last time it was super high res, but now you like made it like a bit lo-fi.
Low resolution.
Yeah, and it's just
Yeah.
fits so well. I think it's great.
But so there are a couple of things though I would like to point out about it. The inventory and Walkman, the font that he uses for that, as well as the icon pack, they're very like pixely, and things like that. But like above it, that text box, it's just like a regular, you know, anti-aliased, like very smooth, very crisp looking font. Um, and then
Yeah,
above that there's the image, which, well, if you were gonna make it like really quite something, if you were to get other um images of the same faces but with their mouth open and like have them fade in and out so that it looks like their mouth is opening and closing, like that'd be pretty tight.
Mm.
But then where it says memory underneath, like it's three different fonts and they're all really close together and they don't really go together, um, especially because he uses a different color. And I feel like if it was more cohesive there, as well as if everything lined up, like if the edges of the portrait lined up with the boxes on the inventory.
Yeah.
I think that it's kind of nice that they don't line up, but I don't know. I don't think it would like it would look right if they were lined up.
Maybe not, but one thing that's nice is actually the colorize filter on KLWP usually trashes images up and makes them look shitty, but I think in this instance, the way that he colorizes the album art actually works,
Yeah.
which is nice. It's really rare you find a good use of that terrible feature.
I think the icons are colorized too in this case.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're pixels that like a pixel icon that was colorized.
Yeah.
Which is pretty nice. But I feel like if he found like a slightly higher resolution pixel font and then used it throughout and had it be a little bit more of a readable font, then
Yeah.
I think it would be a little bit more cohesive overall.
I think that all the buttons like inventory, Walkman, and stuff is trying to copy the memory thing, which is in the HUD, I think, in the game. And I'm fairly sure that the subtitles are using an aliased font, but it's just like it's old, so it's not crisp enough. So, which is probably why you went with this.
One big brain maneuver would be to replace the memory with the font that's throughout the rice, so it would blend in better.
Yeah, that's a good option to do that. Or you could, because it's hard to find pixel fonts.
That match, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to find good pixel fonts that aren't fucking shit. Period.
Yeah.
Like,
but overall, I think this is.
Yeah, I think this one's really quite good, especially because you're taking an idea that was designed for a game that was put on a monitor it's monitor shaped and it's a dialogue box, and you're turning it into something that would be useful for operating your phone on. So changing that aspect ratio and still keeping like visual consistency and not having it get out of balance is really difficult. I know from trying to do things like that multiple times with my my ritual coming of age Windows 10 rice copy and
Yeah.
you know, and a bunch of other things where it's like the normal is for them to be on this horizontal view, and then you have to cram everything into the same vertical space.
Yeah.
And so I think that he was really successful with it.
Yeah.
It's just the cost of doing something that has a retro feel to it, and like the kind of semi reliance on using pixel fonts and pixel icon packs to make it feel old. Um, it's really hard to kind of get get an aesthetic that works right when you're using assets that are a different kind of resolution than what you have available to work with, because there's no really in between. There's like fucking 2.2 bit um fucking pixel fonts, and then there's like material guidelines fonts, and there's not really an in between. There's no like retro feeling ones. There's no like Windows Vista icon packs that are easy, like style icon packs that are kind of easy to come by. That's frustrating, especially because I've done a few retro ones as well. And it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Noise, weren't you working on a GNU step rice
Yeah.
at some
Yeah. I'm
point?
still working on it.
I'm still working on it too. I think we should I think we should next thread review. We should each have a fucking home screen, a new home screen to
I
discuss.
was
Yeah, I got one in the works.
thinking
still.
about finishing mine up for this thread review, but I can't be bothered. But anyways, let's just rate the current screen. So the snake one. I don't know. I really like the aesthetic. Personally, I think this light is like, I'd say it's a solid 8 for me.
I would say,
go ahead.
oh no, okay. So I would say it's like a 6.5. I'm not blinded by nostalgia. I never played this game. I never really enjoyed even the concept of it. It's not really something that interests me. And so it's just like it's an iconic screen, and it's one that I recognize immediately when I saw it. And obviously Kojima's like a master, but like it's not like I don't have like nostalgia for this shit, and so just for me it's just like the overall aesthetic and the inconsistency in like the font and the resolution of the pixel retro things. It kind of pulls it down for me, but it's still good. So I would say it's like a 6.5, like a 7 or a 6.
Yeah. Ollie?
I don't know. Honestly, when I looked at the animations, they felt a little slow to me. I think that's just a problem with KLW in general. The only gripe I really have is the inconsistencies between the fonts. When it comes to the icons, it's kind of understandable that you can never really get them to match perfectly. So fonts are the thing I can really complain about. So this is a 7.
7?
Yeah.
Nice. Alright, moving on then. So let's do like this. Alright, so this is just an old one. I included basically just because this is an old ass rice, right?
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck are we in 2012?
Yeah, so let's just talk about the thing I've highlighted to the side here. Like, what is up with the fucking one? This? Like, you have 3 pages on this? When you need 3 pages?
Yeah, you have 3 pages on that.
And you have a
the
page indicator at all. And then you have a freaking what's it called again? Yeah, the Samsung Edge Edge bar. Like, just make it invisible.
Maybe he actually uses it for something.
Yeah, well, I use it. I use mine. But I just make it invisible. Like, you can make it transparent, right? By the way, do you like my mini phone I made?
I like it quite a bit.
Way too
they need to
buy
drop
this.
a phone like that. It looks like the original iPhone.
Dude, imagine it being like palm-sized,
Dude,
flip
I've
phone sized.
been wanting a small phone, like a small phone to drop for a long
Yeah.
time. Like, we can talk about phones later after we're done with these, but like,
Yeah.
it's frustrating the direction that phones continue to go just because of the market.
Let's
And it's like,
just
oh, vote with your dollar, and it's like I've been voting with my dollar my whole fucking
Yeah.
life. Like, I am not in the majority opinion here.
Right. Moving swiftly on, I just wanted to point out this one because it's an old good rice. It's taken from the Homescreen's site, I think, or at least there's one up there. But just like
Homescreen site's
hide your
really good
garbage,
for
dude.
yeah, it's really good for finding like really old stuff that's like not cool anymore, but it will give you like a lot of inspiration, and I think it's a really great resource when coming up with ideas because you can see other people's how they've translated things.
Yeah.
But this one,
It's
I don't
also
know if it
fun.
deserves to be on the website.
It's also kind of fun to see trends in that site. Like at one point, everything was just fucking Windows and shit.
Might be wrong. It's probably not
see
on the
it.
website actually. I'm just scrolling through it right now. Whatever.
I,
I've seen it
I
before.
seeing
recognize
it
this one
either.
so much.
Made better, but just I'm not rating it. Let's just move on to something actually good, which the next screen happens to be. I absolutely love it, but you guys can start.
Okay, this one, okay. I can't even look at this one seriously just because the original says Orpheus and like that fucking that Hannibal Buress joke. It gets me. It gets to me and it burns my heart. And I absolutely love Orpheus, Morpheus.
Yeah.
Show me the
All right.
walruses down by the seashore, Orpheus. And I don't want to quote it too much here, but it's good. Like it's a good home screen. I like it a lot. There are some things that I do not like about it.
Yep.
For example, that fucking weeb chick reading the Pepe book, you know? But like it's definitely tongue in cheek, especially is that Nietzsche fucking and the thinker up in the
Yeah.
it's just ham-fisted. But I think that the the follow-up is definitely an improvement. Obviously that's album
I
art up
agree.
at the top. I think it pulls colors and makes a color scheme
Yeah,
out
I
of
think
it,
so
maybe.
too.
But the changes that he made, he pulled out all that tiny text and he changed the font. I don't know if I think I like the change of font. But it's and then the clock on the side, the sun indicator, he changed the way that that works as well. Like I think all in all it's an improvement, and it's a very multi-layered
Yeah,
rice, and I think
I
that's really
just
It's
cool.
absolutely
interesting.
love this. I just
Mhm.
freaking love
Certainly
it.
unusual.
Yeah, it's unique. Like it looks like nothing else in the thread.
Yeah.
Like
I think that
which is really good.
half of the elements in it are misaligned deliberately. Because if you look
Yeah.
at the original image, you see the fucking
Yeah, like these
play
things
pause
aren't lined
next.
up at all. The
Yeah,
edges,
nothing's lined up.
but that it's so close that it's probably just a mistake, actually. Like, or
It's
probably
just
not done because it's too close to just be blatant about it.
I think it's following a specific style where it looks like it's put there with zero effort, but it's actually all of it's actually meticulously crafted. At least that's what I like to.
I don't know. This doesn't look like zero effort to me. Like this looks awesome. I just can't get
yeah,
over
I
it.
know. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what Kelp means by zero effort is like it looks like he took random shit and threw it on there randomly, um, but it's like very carefully crafted.
Yeah, like
You know,
no, yeah, I don't remember the term for it, but I get it. But like
the
it's
I love the
just
double clock. It's rare
yeah,
that there's a two clocks that actually looks
stupid ass
good.
double clock, dude. That's
Wait,
there's
That
two things that should be fixed, in my opinion. One is the double clock. It's like it's funny,
yeah,
but it's
I
stupid.
think he did it purely for the meme.
Yeah,
Two
yeah,
clocks out of
probably.
10 because it's not like a status bar clock. Like it's not like a legitimate mistake. He has a digital
No,
clock and an
no,
analog clock.
yeah, it is. It's done to just to be there, right? Just
Yeah, like the
but
analog there, the analog clock is for aesthetics. The digital clock is for practicality.
but it's stupid, right? And the other
Yeah, I
thing
see no
is,
reason for it to.
yeah, the other thing is the bar below the album. Like, of course, the whole rise kind of depends on the album art, which is not really a good trait to have. But if you listen to music with aesthetic album art, it's all right. But the bar below is just absolute trash. Like everything
Yeah,
else
it's not really
looks
creative
so
at
good,
all. Hmm.
but not this. Like the music controls, they're garbage, and the
Oh, and then in the
text,
update, actually, the alignment is all kinds of fucked up on
yeah,
the text and the music
Yeah, that's
controls.
what I was talking
That
about.
yeah,
that
I
needs to
think it's
be.
deliberate.
I don't know if it's deliberate. I think it was a mistake in the font.
I think I think it's just like
Using
hard to do anything with because
yeah,
I can't really
it,
think of what to do with it. Looking at it like this,
some
but everything else is
some
so good. Just
yeah
fix those
some
small
like
things, dude. It's a
advice
10.
with how like
Easy.
custom works. If you were to take that text and shit and put it in an overlap group with a rectangle that's the same size as that one with the gradient, it'll be a lot easier to make everything line up and be consistent, even when the sizes change. Um, like overlap groups are like your fucking friend. You should use them as often as you can.
Yeah.
They're great for aligning things. They're great for scaling things. They're great for fucking everything. I
And
mean,
I, for
you had
one,
to use an overlap group to get the clock to have that shadow because it's only a feature of overlap groups. So like, it's obvious that you know that that feature exists. You know that overlap groups exist. So, um, just use them more, and it's easier to keep your shit aligned.
yeah.
Um,
And his whole like collage part, the lower part, is just well executed. I, for one, love the anime girl. I think it's
I feel
stupidly
like
adorable.
if it was more in the background, like if
I
it was
think it's
less
perfect. I love the
obvious.
freaking stupid ass Pepe. I love the thinker on his stack of thinking books. Love the mannequin. Love everyone here. Just great.
Yeah, it's good.
I love the
I like it.
Yeah, the collage is
But
great.
there are some problems with it. It's
yeah,
not like a
definitely.
flawlessly pulled off.
I just think this is one of the greatest things
That's
I've
the thing,
seen for
that the
a while.
flaws of it are there for a reason. They're either there to piss us off or to piss
No,
anyone viewing
I
at
think
this
they're
off.
mistakes. I think they are mistakes. I don't think that these like tiny things that we're picking out
Well,
are
picture
intentional.
this. See this collage, which while it has a lot of like meticulously put in references, and it's clearly not crafted with precision. Well, with lots of, well, basically there wasn't a lot of time put in, at least per editing perspective.
Well, if you want
Then
to get like all like
is that this collage
design
wouldn't.
like analytically like speaking like the collage actually does a really good job of pointing your eye towards the anime girl who's reading the fucking Pepe book. There's a lot of good sight lines. It's varied enough that you end up wandering around. Like as a composition, it's actually really successful. I mean, I'm not an art history major because I want to have a job that'll make money, but um
Ooh.
Yeah.
but but what I do know about composition, like this is really well put together. Like it's not random. It's not like super precisely deliberate where he thought about the placement of every little thing, but it's definitely not random. Like he thought about the way that it
That's my
goes.
point. This
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
not precisely, well, it may not be random, but it's not super precisely crafted, which if this was better crafted, it wouldn't really fit with all the imperfections of everything else on the screen, would it?
Yeah, I kind of get it. Kind of get that,
Yeah,
but
I see what you mean.
yeah. All right. So, what do you guys
Ratings?
want to rate it? I started off the last one, so one of you guys can go first this time.
I'm gonna go with an A purely because of how ballsy the creator had to be to put this up. I mean,
Yeah.
what kind of normal person would truly appreciate this?
Dude, I just hope this is dab, dude. It seems like such a dab rice, but I don't know.
It's good. It's good. I think honestly I would say it's an 8 too. Those little details
Yeah.
of like alignment and making sure everything is like visually consistent, like that stuff is necessary for making it like really get pushed to the next level. But I think this is a really really solid idea, and I also know how hard it is to get good edges when you do a render of something in Photoshop. So either he found that collage pre-existing and he makes it work really well, or he is skilled enough with image editing software that he was able to pull those things off and have it not look weird next to each other. And so I'd say
Yeah,
that
I think he
that
did
that
it
shows some
individually.
demonstration of skill, which is really nice. I'd say it's probably like an 8 out of 10. I think
Yeah.
it's an 8 out of 10.
I really want to give this, like, I was thinking about giving this a 9 and just fix the stupid ass bar, and it's a 10 for me. But the reliance of the over reliance on the album art, like it only works. It only works with a couple of like a handful of album arts, right? Which is
That's true.
sad. But the ones he has picked look absolutely awesome. So it's like an 8.5, like eight between an 8 and a 9. I just if you listen to um yeah other stuff than this, you'll have a hard time.
Yeah.
I think
I think
so.
that's I mean, I think that's really illustrative of how the thread is really just a screenshot contest, though.
Yeah, yeah,
Because I remember my cause rice, which I'm actually really proud of that rice. I'm really embarrassed of the WebM because I'm listening to a song that has really bad album art that does not fit with the rice at all. That it was actually I posted that WebM. I posted like 7 or 8 different iterations. I was obsessed with that, tweaking it for like 3 weeks. And the final form version, which I would much prefer to be on the website, had much better album art that fit with the rice much better. But unfortunately, the one that
yeah,
Adrift decided to save was not that one, and so
yeah. Well, yeah. I think about these as in being in use, but if it's just of screenshots, this looks awesome. I would say so. Yeah,
being in use, this is a music player. Like this isn't a home screen. Like
yeah, it is. But that's yeah, that's probably why I like it so much because my screens aren't very functional. They're just
yeah, that's true.
I need a clock and I need a music player. I don't really need, so I like it.
Yeah, I need my 6 apps and I need a clock. That's all I need. So
All
I know
right,
that everything else is
next screen.
accessory.
Ta-da, boom. Right, so this is
Oh, this motherfucker. Oh my god.
yeah.
The old boy.
I don't
Dude,
know. I
literally
like this one too.
Google like oh I like it conceptually. I like it a lot. But like literally just fucking like I reverse image searched the home screen and instantaneously found a higher resolution image.
Yeah.
Like that was sharp. Like this shit is not sharp. There's so many tiny fucking things that are just wrong with this fucking and
Yep.
I think what it is he has a good idea, but he doesn't know how to use uh he doesn't know how to use custom yet. So
Mm.
it's like, all right, let it slide. But like tips for next time, use a fucking
Fix
color picker. Like figure out what colors are in your wallpaper by like just like figuring them out. Like don't guess. You will get it wrong. Like your eyes aren't that good. Let a computer do the work for you. Right? Like
Mm.
that's why there's that, and then make sure your sizes are good, right? And the other thing is get a high resolution background that's either the same resolution as your phone or higher. Like don't go with anything smaller. Don't make custom scale shit because it's
Wait,
really bad at scaling shit.
I just wonder how he made the text behind the image, like the shadow kind of deal.
Yeah,
So
the thing
that's
is,
pixely.
and so bad.
how do you
Like
fuck that up?
No, no, it's not.
it's
Like, what happened to it?
it's
That's
Because the
it
was
text
makes.
the
is
font
fairly
bad in the
crisp.
first place?
I
It's
think he maybe has like the layer scale up or something.
yeah, but that
But
doesn't
that's not how
really
you would do
do
a
that.
shadow like that.
I
Like
think I know how he did it.
No, well,
I
of
know
course
how
I
he
know
did
how
it.
he
He
did the
used
text. He
multiple.
has a text behind which is black and then has that like one or two sizes bigger. But how is the text like the black part so pixely?
I think
I
he
Like
think
used
I
some
think
sort of
made
filter.
is this made in like Photoshop?
no, and the thing is, if you look at the triangle, the back button, like at a similar scale, it's not, and the other things are like they're fine. The alias just fine, and KLWP is quite good at it. But the thing that's really frustrating about it is that the way to do outlines like this is actually really simple and not difficult, but the way that you think you go about it is, oh, I'll just copy the text and make it a little bit bigger and either center it or put it close. But then what you end up doing is with the 9 having it cut off, or with the fucking 6 being over way the fuck more than the S because he has it aligned to the left, and like that shit just looks bonkers. So the
Yeah.
way to do it is to take an overlap group and then copy and paste the same font and then change the color and then change the color type to stroke and make the stroke thick enough that it sticks out of the edge of the letters, and it works almost perfectly for outlining them. Like it unless you have like a big like paragraph, it will not get misaligned, and it just looks so much better. It's so much better for like text that's going to change, and it doesn't look like shit. And all you have to do is make sure that it's on an overlap group, and then the overlap group has a clear rectangle behind it that is bigger than the thing will ever be, so that it doesn't get cut off like it is on the 9. It just it's not a difficult process
Yeah.
to handle, but it's handled so terribly here, and it just makes it look so fucking bad.
Yeah.
Like it would look tight if you used the right colors and had a higher resolution. Like if it was the exact same rice but better, it would be tight. Like it would be a
Yeah.
cool rice. But
Yeah. Because the
it's shit
concept kind
because of
of looks good, right?
problems.
It's just like the
Yeah,
execution is lacking a bit.
yeah. Oh, and then if you look at the previous and next buttons, like they're very close to being actually aligned with the middle of the 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 radius thing, that like the sun thing that's sticking out in the sky,
Mm.
right? And it's like if you had put them slightly lower, they would be closer to the middle, and it would fit better. It'd be more consistent visually
And they
if you
have
were to
true
put.
drop shadows, by the way, it seems.
Yeah, and that doesn't it doesn't fit with your other stuff. Oh, maybe that's what it is. Maybe he's using a shadow that is like opaque
Mm,
and not
yeah.
not zero distance away.
Yeah, and it just gets crushed when he takes a photo and uploads it. Or takes a screenshot,
Yeah,
I guess.
maybe. I don't know what it is, but
Yeah.
use the method I described. Use the color fill outline and then make the outline thick enough that it sticks out from the edge of the letters.
To
Like that
fix
is
that,
the best way to do outlines.
fix the font, fix the weird curvy thing I pointed out here, high res
Yeah, that's
image,
just
and remove your navbar. You're golden. I don't
oh, and
I
and
don't even
and
care
fix
about
the
the
folder
icons,
icon.
dude. I don't even care about
No,
the
see
icons.
the icon pack looks like it's pretty. It fits. Like it looks like it
Yeah.
fits, right? And so what you need to do is you need to long press those icons because it looks like you're using Nova because that's the default Nova folder icon generation.
Yeah.
Long press it, edit, and then change the icon to be something relevant. So like just make the fucking icon of the folder, like for example that center folder, just make it the same icon as your contacts app,
Yeah.
so that it looks like just a regular app, so that when you tap it, it's a folder, and it's like it's all the benefits of a folder, but it doesn't look like trash.
Mm.
But yeah, like there's just so many things wrong with this, but it has tons of potential.
And another like kind of small thing that might be cool is if you have like the shoreline kind of the pond. I don't know, the pond line. You can like curve your icons, like follow that. If you have a free placing instead of a grid, which might be cool.
Or if you go if you get rid of your nav bar, you could just put them along the bottom where they would fit quite nicely underneath the people.
Yep, probably.
Like,
I just
or
really
just get rid of your
the
icons
like the
altogether.
image, to be honest.
Swipe
I think the image is really cool.
It's really tight. I think it's album art.
Yeah, yeah, it might be, Anyways,
I don't remember. I found a higher resolution and I figured out
yeah,
where it came from.
that's the image I used for the background. That was your reverse image.
Yeah.
So
My repost.
Yep.
And look, it's way higher fucking resolution, so it like actually fills up the fucking screen.
well, it's kind of upscale, but whatever. Yeah. What do you want to give this though?
Like a 3, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I think it's a failure at every step. The icon pack is a failure. The widgets that he made in custom are a failure, and the wallpaper is a failure, and those are the 3 ingredients for a rice. And so I think all in all, it's a failure. It's a good idea, so I'd say it's a 3 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might have to agree with the Doc. Honestly, I was kind of this one,
Yeah.
but that's mostly because you listed basically everything that was wrong with this.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We just have
Like
to
this one,
find
this
like
one gets me heated because it's so close to like it could be really good, you know?
Yeah. We just have to find like a good what's it called, rating system, because I don't really use the same rating system as you guys for the lower ones, I think, but I don't think we'll ever get there. We just explain ourselves well enough, I think. But I think like yeah, I'm giving this probably higher than average, which would in general it would be like a 4, I think. Yeah, a 4.
Honestly,
4 or 5.
this deserves higher than average because it's just a basic icon pack. Honestly, I doubt that this person is using custom.
No,
Done this with
he has to
something.
use
It looks like they are.
custom for something, for the music player at least, and so, but it's not like technical skill here. There's no excessively like technical about this. It just
I think I just
looks
like
easy.
the image. I think that's just what has potential, is that the image was made by someone who's a good artist, who's a good artist, and that's the only
Yeah.
issue.
I don't know. I think this is it's a good start. Just tweak some shit, tweak the small stuff, do what Duck said, and this is a solid rice, I would say. All right. So moving on, we have some more
Viral?
webs to look at.
Sorry about that, my phone
Oopsie
rang.
doop.
This one is one of the better ones.
This is viral. From you guys some good
From the
feedback on the
IRC.
last Red
Shout out to Viral.
Yeah.
He's pretty cool. He's been making
He's
really fairly innovative rices. His ideas are pretty original, and I like that.
Yeah.
Isn't he working on like a fall one right now?
No, that's Flippy.
Oh yeah, that's Flippy.
So you guys can
Flippy's
see
the
the
one that's
web
fucking
now, right? I'll show you the web. So this is his previous one, which are the 2 leftmost screens, which just shows like it just shows the animation and the screens and his improvements on it. So yeah, this is his previous one, and the evolution, which is this one, which is a lot nicer, right? Looking away from the last screen at least. Um, let's not talk about that too much. The first
Yeah,
two, like with the animation, it's tight. It looks really good. I think he did a great job like updating it. I'm still not a
yeah,
big fan of the colored circles for launching apps, which I presume they launch apps. I'm not a big fan of it because they're just so boring to me. But the way the dots in themselves have no like they're not inherently bad because they fit with the image, and I think he executed it well. And I think the opening animation is really nice. It's like it's not slow, but it's still like has a it has like the right feel to it without being slow or just too fast. And like yeah, so you see it, but you don't like notice it too much. And I think the way he did the text pop out is really cool, and the music, yeah, music player. I think the only thing is the progression bar for me, and the music note. It's like the big part I dislike about this. Aside from
yeah.
the calendar, of course.
He got rid of the music note though. He said when he posted that originally that the music note is a remnant of a previous idea.
No,
Um.
on the looking at the new screen, the
Oh. Oh.
middle
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. You
So
should just have
the
a dot.
with the progress bar, I think the progress bar doesn't need to be gray. I think you should use the same color as
White.
the faded out text
Yeah,
instead of the
Oh.
gray on the progress bar.
Yeah.
Um, but overall, it's way better than it was. I think it's like it's really cool right now. I would say.
Yeah. I think it is quite
uh,
good. The one that yeah, it's the fucking calendar. That looks like
yeah. I
it's
wonder how
completely
he did.
unnecessary. Just use a calendar app. It looks like a calendar widget on top of an image that he has scroll in at a different speed.
I think I have one of those images in my wallpapers.
Yeah, but
Anyways, I really like those wallpapers in general.
yeah, and typically they are really quite good.
Yeah,
But I think in this case, the like Noise was saying that the calendar's not really the best, but it's really a good idea and it works really well. Um, I think the similar ideas have been tried, but none of them have been really successful. But I think this one, the way that he makes it change between a music player and just a regular information is quite good. One thing I would say, the 4 to 1, like the 4 minutes to one, I think
yeah,
it should have the same animation as the 88%. Um, it kind of it comes in a little bit faster than the square
yeah,
image and the 88%, and it's a small detail, but if it was the same, if it always matched up, I think it would be a little bit nicer. So if you were to just copy the 88% animation over to the 4 to 1 instead of whatever it currently is, so that it matches up perfectly, it would be quite good, especially because it's obviously a background scroll in animation. So you can make it play really, really slowly by moving your thumb slowly, and that small detail will be more obvious when you do that. So,
yeah.
but yeah, I think it's a quite good race.
Probably you had something to say.
I kind of like this in general. Most of the same criticisms you said apply. But yeah, I like the wallpapers. And honestly, unlike noise, I kind of like the icons. They would be way too intrusive for text or just normal icons. So in my opinion, these dots, even though they are uninformative,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and
I
as
get
long
why
as you
people
have them
use the
memorized.
dots. I get why people use the dots. I just don't like it.
Stop liking what I don't like.
Yeah, this.
But yeah, no, I like dots as app icons, honestly. It's really easy. Or just basic shapes in general. Like the min icon pack has some basic shape, and I used those for the longest time just because they just work with literally everything. And
Yeah,
in this case, the fact that the dots are the color palette that the watercolor painting has really makes it quite good, especially because he mutes it as it fades out, like becomes a muted color instead, so that the album art can stand on its own. I think it's quite successful as a even though you don't like it noise.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like this. Shall
Yeah.
we rate?
I'll
Yes.
just quickly interject about the calendar. Like the reason he has the calendar is because he needs it. That's at least what he said, and I get the functionality of a calendar. And it's I would say he's done a fairly good job of trying to integrate it. By keeping them separate, which is like
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
opposite of integrating, but still kind of works. But
No.
yeah, fixing up, like figuring out what to do with the calendar is like the next step here, right? But it's really good as it is, I would say.
Honestly, what I think, if you're gonna make the calendar, if you were to add another dot, like a dot, like so you have the 4 dots horizontally, 4 dots vertically. Instead, make it 5 and 5, and have one of the 5 dots trigger the music function, and then have the other dot trigger a calendar function, where that square becomes, um, like your upcoming events, like as a list instead of as a calendar view. But if you really do need to look at like a month of a calendar, I think there are some custom widgets on the Play Store that are free that are pretty successful at making calendars, that you can resize to be square.
Or here's a pro tip:
Because
just make one just for the screenshot, and then just use the secondary screen.
Sneak.
Depends on how much
Honestly,
integrity you have.
yeah,
what
if
I
you like
like
noise,
about
then just do that.
keep getting cut off. Fuck's sake.
Yeah, you
Sorry.
do. You don't talk
Honestly,
loud enough, dude.
I kind of like about what I kind of like about this one is the fact that it's still really functional. It's like one of the top priorities for me in a Rise is that it still stays functional.
Mm.
Yeah. And it's hard to pull off something that looks this minimal and has that amount of functionality. I completely agree with you. But let's do our rates.
All right,
Kelp.
8.5 for me.
nice. I'll give this a solid 7. I like
Yeah,
it.
I think I
potential.
agree with Kelp. I'll give it an 88% Elephant Gym.
Very nice. Very nice. Oh. All right. So the next screen. So let me see. It's transition correctly here. All right. So this one is like obviously, he took reference from the older one. He said, "Hey, I really like this. I want to make something similar," and he did. And first of all, I just
Right
want to
off the
say
bat,
that this image is so goddamn comfy, dude.
It is very comfy. And I also highly appreciate that he's not a fucking weeb. Anything that's not weeb gets a pass for me. Compared to the weeb counterparts, if you make a weeb home screen, just fucking take it to W so that they can shit on you instead of us. Like,
Dude, rising on W is dead. Doesn't
yeah,
work.
uh,
Here we have a
rest in
flaw in the
pieces.
PDF, by the way. Look at that wonderful highlighting of the number 79. Oh, that looks so great.
Oof.
I forgot about
based,
that.
based in
Anyways,
green.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that right off the bat, this is better than the last, than the ever image.
Mm.
I think that the colors, colors in this kind of context, that's what I prefer. And the fact that he picked a serif, let me reference the older one real quick. The older one
Didn't use the
uses,
mono.
serif. Yeah.
yeah, but the serif font actually really fits in this case, especially when compared to this old kind of rustic image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One gripe, at least I think that would be applicable in this sense, is the 7 at the bottom. I think it's a battery indicator, but I think it should be the same size as everything else. But I'm not sure. It might look worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit big. And the thing is like it's bigger than the clock. So it's like, okay, it's bigger so that you can read it faster, make it easier, but you're going to be checking the time more often than you're checking the
The
battery
biggest,
percent.
and now you're touching on what I believe to be the biggest issue, right? Because I really like it. I think it's comfy as fuck. I liked I really love the serif. I did something like this a long time ago as well. With I think I used the same font even. Looking at the 7, but the top line, like the clock, Thursday, November 28th. It's so long, and it just goes out over everything. Like,
Yeah, and it doesn't
cut it
have the
off.
word of in it anywhere, so
Yeah,
there's a big problem.
yeah. For me, that doesn't matter as much, but for you Americans, it might be
No,
important.
it should say Thursday of November 28th.
Yeah,
Right.
agreed.
That's true. That's
But
true.
yeah, if you gave it the same padding that the app list on the
Right.
right hand side had.
Here's
Yeah.
how I would make this just a lot better. Move the battery indicator so it's in line with all the apps. Easy. Boom. Make it a bit smaller as well, as Colleen suggested. I think that works well. Take and just remove November. Just remove 28. Just remove the date at all. Just have the clock. Maybe day, or do just date right there. I don't think doing the whole line right there is good. I don't think it looks good. Move it somewhere else. I don't know where you
It
move it,
kind of
but I think you move it, and I think that will make it look just that much better.
So I actually disagree with you, Noise. I think that if you were to actually split it up, so make the 1047 on the left hand side and then the Thursday, November 28th, right aligned to the app list box, I think it would look um, really quite nice.
Yeah, my problem with that is that the image is so much bigger than the app box. I don't think you should cross that boundary with text. Like cross that visual like line it creates. I don't think you should cross that.
Yeah, but if you have
it
that,
doesn't feel like it's crossing.
With
yeah,
the
no, but
28
if you
right there,
have
it definitely feels like it's crossing.
no, but Noise, what I mean is like if you take that Thursday, November 28th and right align it, then it's crossing in an intentional way and creating a line somewhere else, and
Yeah,
it has an asymmetrical feel,
yeah.
which I think will be to benefit. I think the 79% honestly should be nixed for a progress bar that's like somewhat hidden, um, because it kind of looks out of place. Um, or if you're gonna do it, like put it as like I really can't see where it would work. Um,
Actually, think about it. If you stack the clock on top of the date and then pull it a bit in, so it's not edge aligned with the image. I think it should be. If you look at my cursor on the screen, which doesn't show up on the recording, but so you pull it like into here, and then stack them on top of each other, and then do the same with the clock. So you pull that in, and you pull in the battery indicator. So you pull those in a bit, so they're not edge aligned because edge aligning here like doesn't matter, right? In my opinion. So just pull it in, stack them. Might make it a bit too big on the top, but I think it would be an easy fix as for what is currently the issue.
yeah, currently it's the spacing that's causing the problems visually,
Yep.
and just try a bunch of things out and see what works and what doesn't, what feels like you're adding too much or feels like you're taking away too much, and try and strike a balance because it does just kind of look like that Thursday, November 28th is just thrown there and aligned a little bit. Um, and same with the 70. I mean, the 79 is actually a lot closer to the edge than the Thursday, November 28th says. Um, so it really makes that Thursday look like it's just slapped on there. So just fix that alignment and try out some other things to make it look a little bit more balanced.
Mm.
And ignore what Noise said about crossing that line, like that visual line that's established. Um, you should be comfortable crossing it in a tasteful way. If you do it the way that you're doing right now, it looks weird. Um, it looks like there's a geyser that would like come up and then hit the 28, and it would just look fucking goofy, right?
Yep.
But if you're to split it up and visually make it more obvious that that line is not a separation in the image, but rather like a grouping, then I think it would look
Yeah. Another way to
fine.
remedy it really easily, just move the image all the way, or like move the list and the image closer, so there's no like gap there where you can see the background color, which we haven't really touched on. But the background color isn't that great. But
I
just
said
moving together, remove the space at all, would probably also look better, I would think.
probably.
Yeah. I think it was a little bit of a cooler color, like closer to like a navy blue, not like
Yeah,
white, what, like not like the muted desaturated of the original, but like closer to like basically what, like the bottom of the snow in the image,
yeah,
like
yeah, for sure. Like a cooler blue, lighter, but also cooler. I think that would
yeah.
work quite well. Maybe even though
But
like
it's a very
the
comfy image. I think that's
yeah,
really good. It
I
does a lot of work for the overall aesthetic.
yeah, it basically carries it because that and the app list is the rice, right? So having that super comfy image and an app list to like fit just just feels good, just feels right, right?
Yeah.
All right, so let's just rate it. Like, I'll just start, I guess. I'm giving this like a 5. Like it's 5 or 6. It's not great,
Hmm.
like as an end result, but has it's easily fixable, right? It's easily made better.
Hmm.
I'm gonna give this. Honestly, I'm gonna give it a 7.
Mm,
I like it. There's a few fixes that I said. Overall, it's nice, decently executed idea.
you need to go eat your mic more. You're too far away.
Yeah, you need to put your
It's
mouth
a
closer to
nice,
the mic.
well executed idea.
That's
Yeah, there we
infinitely
go. There
better.
we
You
go.
like literally continue to do that,
Yeah.
like unironically. But I think I agree more with no. I would say it's a 5. I think I completely agree with that. It's so easy to improve it. Like it would be. It's just going into KLWP and like literally just tapping that, you know,
Mm,
top padding button like one more time, like,
yeah. Yeah.
and getting it closer. I think that would be the biggest thing that would help it. So like, there's so many things that like, but the thing is because it's so simple, it does still work pretty well. Um, but I'd say it's a 5. Um, Minimalist things are very hard to get like very very good. You really have to
Yeah. It's
pull
hard.
every single element off perfectly. Otherwise, it just falls apart very quickly because minimalist stuff by its very nature doesn't have much to it,
Yeah. All
and
right.
so it's hard to pull it off.
Let's move on. Boom. So this is like
Oh
a
no,
same minimalist. I just picked these because the images, to be honest, are really nice.
Yeah,
But yeah, I
let's
don't
that
try
really
cross
have
this
hatching is
one
anything
for a
actually
while.
to
extremely
say
nice.
about it. Just feast
Yeah,
your eyes upon the images. They're nice drawings.
they are really nice drawings. One thing about the drawings that's like really like striking is how vertical they are. Like the fact that they have these like really cool bars that stick up, and like you kind of did it with the alignment of the things, but like if you were to amp that up even more, where
Hmm.
like you had something that was like cut off by that cross hatching, or like you had something that changed color as it went into it, um then I think it would look really 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 cool, especially because the illustrations are just quite amazing. Are those is that Death Stranding
I
illustrations?
I I expect I
I think
expect
those
so.
are.
Yeah, because I mean, it kind of reminds me of it at the
Yeah.
very least. But either way, these are quite uh, like as somebody who draws all the time, like that cross hatching is like really impressively good. Like there's only a few things that make it look a little bit bad, and it's quite good. Um,
Yeah.
so I think if you play with that verticality of those images, you might be able to come up with some really interesting ideas.
Yeah.
That would be worth exploring.
But everything else on the like the menu icon, they should be well, the icon itself should be all white, at least in the second. The first image, I understand, because you have a white background. But then why would you have a white background icon where everything else is like lines, including the wallpaper?
The
Yeah, because
vignette
the rise
distracts
isn't
quite a bit from it.
very good, I would say. It's just the
Yeah.
images are
Yeah.
nice, and
The
he's still
wallpaper is
like he doesn't hurt them too much.
Yeah, that's one thing is that you'll see people who'll use a really nice image and then they'll just absolutely ruin it with their rice, and it's just like just a misunderstanding of what makes that image good. This one doesn't. It respects its space. The only thing that really kind of bothers me about anything he placed on it is that the menu is um it like interrupts, like you said, that line. This in this case I think is an example where, like, if you cross that line, it creates this visual inconsistency that
Yeah.
doesn't look good. Also, the vignetting looks absolutely terrible. If there was no vignetting and you using black icons, it would look
Hmm.
way more successful.
Yeah, I think so too.
vignettes.
Yeah. Moving right along to
Vignette.
rates, I'll just do a normal rate, a noise rate. 5 out of 10. Fix your icon placement on the second screen as well, especially since that's the newest one. Move your menu icon thing inwards. Move your triangle icon somewhere else so it doesn't overlap. And then fix the text. It doesn't look good. Move it rightwards. Change the alignment.
I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 10 because these images are good looking, but they were ruined. In other words, the guy just probably found some nice looking images on Reddit and just thought, hey, what if I did a couple of here and there and maybe it would look good? And it doesn't look good. So yeah, 4 out of 10.
I'd have to agree that 4 out of 10. He doesn't do too much to ruin the images, but the vignette looks absolutely like it does detract a lot from the images, especially because what makes especially the first image good is the contrast, as well as that menu button. First of all, the first one having text, and the second one going over the edge of the rectangle and not being a consistent color. There are some things about it that detract from it. But overall, good taste in images. Just practice more, honestly.
I love how we get nicer along with the thread. All right, so let's see. This one covers two. Let me whip this
Based
into
podcast
view.
taste, by the way.
Oh yeah, you see that
Yeah.
ruined it. There we go. You can't really see it. It has an animation. You guys can kind of see it, but so this is the
like
first
rows.
version, right? And the next screen is the second one, and he addressed a lot of the initial problems, I would say, this has in the second part, mostly just like the outer text is too light, like, but in the second one he manages to keep the feel but make him more readable. What I would do is pull the text further away from that. Oh yeah, dude, hexagons, dude. Oh my god, fucking hexagons, dude. I almost forgot. It's a fucking hexagon, dude. I can't fucking stand hexagons.
Oh,
They're so overused, dude. Oh, hexagons.
The thing is, they're the only like interesting shape in custom's default shapes.
Yes.
true.
God damn it, dude. God damn it. Dude, I forgot to make it. I was going to make one of those soy wojak memes with fucking hexagons, dude. Oh, this is how I think of anyone every time they use a fucking hexagon. They're so overused. But at least it looks good.
Especially fucking Mango's recent usage of them. It's just like
Yeah, but that's like the thing that started and ended it, right? fucking mango's hexagon, and then everybody used the hexagon, and now it's just don't use a hexagon.
Or just
But-
just slowly rotating shapes.
God damn it.
That
Yeah.
shit's just like,
Yeah.
if you like have some amount of like randomness to it, it's cool because then it doesn't loop. But yeah.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
would say 2019, having Reddit and Tumblr installed on your phone and not Clover is kind of disgusting.
Reddit, Discord, and Tumblr, the holy trinity, dude.
The holy
This guy's
trinity.
a soy
And
boy.
then
Yeah.
you've definitely given yourself up to Google using Chrome and YouTube. Unbelievable. Honestly, those are the best
Yeah.
options.
I don't know. This is a soy out of 10 for me, but move
Yeah.
move the text further away from the polygon. Move them a bit further away so it rounds out the shape, like visually, and move the circle, the animation trigger, higher up so it's not crammed in the corner like that, and then it will look much better.
The clock is fucking unreadable. I can barely see it.
Yeah.
And
Shows
also,
the
it's like
text in
a
some.
yeah, and also that font you used for the title of the podcast, like the music information, it works at larger sizes, but that small it doesn't work. It just looks like you're trying to pull a mixture of a mango and a drift. Like it looks like you tried to do a drifts like cheesecake looking one, and then you also tried to do mango's hexagon meme bullshit that needs to die. And the only thing that's really nice about your wallpaper is the background colors pretty cute,
Yeah.
red, and
Yeah.
the flowers are beautiful because obviously flowers are beautiful, right? Like it's just a professional photographer took a good picture of flowers, and now you get the credit because that's the only good part of your rice.
The animation isn't especially well done either, I would say, because he's copied the entire thing and it just scales it out to the corner. And I think it would be more interesting if you maybe scaled it with only scaled the text and the album art, but kind of faded in the background of it instead, or didn't something like that. Like play around with it. Don't just scale it out. It looks really bad when they overlap the circle right there, I would say. So, but still, soy out of 10. Nothing to fix with that.
Yeah,
Nothing can fix that.
you can do really good wipe animations too with just a little bit of effort, and it's just bad scaling. Those animations? So I'd say yeah. I think I agree. I wouldn't say soy out of 10. I would say 2 out of 10.
Mm.
It's really not good.
Ellie?
Not sure why you included it, honestly.
Because it's kind of interesting and it's one of the later ones.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right.
Colley's
Ollie's
over here
the
dead
respondent,
silent.
so
That's
let's just
actually
move on.
mine.
Yes.
Alright. Do you want to rate it or should we move on? Alright, we're moving on. Boom. Alright, here's our wonderful
Oh, yes,
GIF.
the OP1.
Yeah.
I feel like Adrift would really love this and then complain about how he can't do animations.
Yeah, I don't know.
'Cause that's what he
like,
does. Anytime he sees
Yeah. Yeah, that's true though.
anytime he sees good animations, he's like, oh, that's really good. I can't do animations.
I bet he's gonna
Yeah.
really like my next.
Yeah.
Next phrase is like really animation
dude.
focused.
Hmm.
Oh no. Fuck.
What?
It's the lines he used as like the recording, they don't the
don't match
tips
up.
aren't hidden. None of them are.
What?
None of them are.
Damn it!
What do you mean?
No, it's
I-
like so close to great. Oh no. Okay, so like the line that is like the magnetic tape of the
Yeah.
yeah, none of those straight lines are actually properly hidden by those circles.
Oh, are they not? Oh no, they're
Yeah, if you look closely,
kinda
they're
not,
not.
actually.
None of them are. Yeah, none of them are. You can see
Alright, dude.
both ends of all of
Yeah,
them, except
especially
for,
on the right side. Especially on the right side.
especially on the right side. Those things
Alright.
that need tweaking, especially because those aren't animated, so those are just sitting there.
Yeah.
Um,
Do a bit of tweaking,
kind of
but what I
suffering.
wanted to say is just make this into a full rise. Like, make a rise where this fits, because this is a nice, even though it's a rip of the OP1 synthesizer. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just,
The
it
thing is,
looks
though, is the
good.
OP1 has a really good visual identity. Like,
Yeah,
it's
Yeah.
it
good. I like
does.
it.
It looks good.
Um,
And also
So,
the
yeah.
font is like, I wish this was monospaced. And you can make it monospaced since it's only the clock. Like, just make one text element with a bit more complicated formula, and it is monospace. Like manual
or do a
monospace.
morphing text that is justified per letter, and
Yeah,
that'll
that's
just fix it.
yeah, yeah, that might work too. Just listen to the duck. He knows a bunch of like retarded shortcuts that I don't. I do things the hard
Oh
way.
my.
So
Yeah, he does
um,
things the hard way.
yeah. So yeah, just make this into full rice. I think this is a nice. This is
Yeah,
a
this
nice
should
one.
be
Wait,
I
a
just
what if
wanted to
this
mid-to
is a
highlight
rice.
it.
clock face?
Hmm?
What if this is like
No,
you
it's not. It
couldn't get
rotates.
KLW?
You need to move your mic closer again. You like lays off,
Bro, I
bro,
in front of
Bruh.
bro.
I'm doing keeping the mic in front of my.
Literally, eat your fucking mic, dude. Like, literally, like, put it as close to your mouth as you can.
Wait, is this better?
Yeah,
Yes.
it is.
Yes, that is
Okay, then the
clear.
mic
Uh,
phone is listening to is at the bottom of it.
Oh my god. He was talking to the wrong end of the mic.
Because the mic is my fucking phone, okay?
God.
And
Alright,
it has
alright,
two
whatever,
microphones.
whatever.
I don't know which one Discord is using.
Alright,
Whatever.
you're beautiful. Okay.
Alright,
Okay.
yeah. Make this
Um,
into a full rise. I want to see it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Make
Yeah,
those
this should be a
lines.
full rise.
Yeah, make those lines line up. If you have trouble seeing it, which I understand with high resolution phones, it can be really hard to see. But if you're having trouble seeing it, then the best thing to do is to just take a screenshot and then go into your gallery and zoom in as far as you can. It makes it really easy to line things and see like where you're fucking up. Oh, and also to make your the rounded corners on the square a little bit better, take the rounded rectangle and fill it with a stroke, and then make that stroke a consistent thing.
Hmm.
Otherwise, you have to sit there and tweak the radius of the corners till they match up, because the thing is that thickness gets visually a lot thicker. Actually, no, it just gets a lot thicker in those corners, which messes up with the weight. So just those little tiny tweaks like that's what's going to really push it to the next level. But make this a whole rice. It's really quite good.
Yeah.
Especially the animations, they're very well done.
Yeah. Alright, so moving on to the 2 or 3 last ones. This one is included because this is an iOS rise, I think.
Oh wait, this is that's right.
Yeah,
I
this
thought it
is
was
on
gonna
an
be a
iPhone.
basic bitch ass rise, but now I'm just impressed.
Yeah,
No, I don't think it's an iOS rice, and here's why. I think that the clock at the top versus the clock in the middle,
yeah.
I've never seen that in an iOS rice, but it's like a native feature of Android.
Alright,
That if
well,
you
at
have
least
if
he's
you have a clock
emulating.
widget.
Well, if this
But it looks
isn't,
nice. It looks nice. I like that icon pack quite a bit.
yeah, it's Kekil, Kiesel, Kekil, Kecil. It's a really nice one, but yeah, my suggestion is on the right. You can see just align the icons. Like it's too sharp of an angle, like a diamond. Try to utilize the wallpaper, even though I don't really like the Mojave wallpaper too much, but yeah, just do this.
It's a great photo, but like
Honestly, the thing that amazes me more about the system is that they tend to be images. And you get like cases like Windows 10 default wall. Turns out it's a
Yeah,
Photoshop.
you put your phone down again, Mister.
No, I'm keeping it same.
okay.
Well, it
Take the
definitely
two
improved right there, so I don't know about how same-ish you're keeping it. But anyways, like if this is an iPhone, it's great. If not, it's basic, but it still looks pretty good. So
Yeah. One thing is those dots that tell you that you have a notification. If
Too
you
far
can,
away.
get them closer to your apps. They are
Yeah.
way too far away.
For sure.
But yeah, the icon pack is really fresh. It's really good. And I think it fits well with the wallpaper. Um, whether or not it's an apple rice, it's quite good. But I think what Noise suggested with that less sharp slanting is really a good idea.
And then we have the final rice. So,
Honestly, I must say right off the
I'm gonna
bat
say
that
no.
the icon pack is really interesting.
all right. So
Yeah.
look at this, and then just look at my suggestion. So I know you love
Okay.
the anime, so I think this just makes it like a 10 or
No,
close
but
to it.
actually, that's a good suggestion. Okay, so go back to the previous one.
Yeah, we
Right.
have this one.
If you instead edit those images so that his shirt is a different color for each of those screens, his shirt
No,
in the
just
background is a
replace him,
different
dude.
color.
Just replace him. He looks
It's
so
really
bad.
he doesn't look that bad.
Yeah, he looks that
Yeah,
bad.
he doesn't look that bad.
Dude, I see this and I
His
just
style is similar to the icon.
okay, okay.
I don't think it's
I
too
think your
similar to the
brain is
icon,
leaking
but
out of your
the
ear,
icon
Collie.
is quite
What the
actually.
fuck?
What one is it? That
This is
actually
abstract.
looks really good.
That
I like that icon pack a lot. Actually,
Yeah,
I
it
think
looks
would
good.
be useful.
Like everything, just remove the guy. Just remove the guy. It looks so much better. You don't replace it with anything else. Literally
Dude,
anything
Noise, you're
else.
like
Noise is
100%
ranting right
shit,
now.
Noise. You're just mad about you're just racist, is what
You're
it
just
is.
Yeah,
mad.
yeah,
This
I
is,
guess I
yeah,
am.
this is hate crime, Noise.
It's just
Go to
so
Sweden, learn
ugly,
how to
dude.
tolerate other people.
It's just so
But-
ugly. Like,
No, but all in
what
all, I think maybe if you were to find a better illustration, but if you just change the color per screen, get rid of that stupid 42% circle progress bar. It's completely unnecessary, and looks bad. That little fucking icon underneath the image should go. The vignetting should go, and then it's a good wallpaper. It's a good home screen, I think.
just do this.
Um,
Do this. Do this. Use that image even. I would totally
do
use this.
Noise, stop being mad.
It's so great. Anyways, yeah, if you do this, it's an 8. If you do this, or if you keep it as it is, it's absolute trash. Like
If
you
you have
can't
other
save the bottom
images
part
of-
doesn't save
of
the
different
image.
basketball players, if you have other images of different basketball players that are in the same style, consider using those as well. Just ignore
Yeah,
his
that
shit
would be
posting.
nice.
He's just mad that he can't draw.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm mad that I can't draw this. Jesus Christ. I hope I can't draw this. I don't want to draw this.
Fucking seething.
Yeah, if
But-
this was the only thing I could draw, or if this was like the peak of my skill, I would actually just hang myself.
Yeah,
This
but
is
we
so
are about
bad.
done.
Yeah, that's the last screen, so let's pick the OP.
Let's just pick the OP.
I think shit, I just closed it. Orpheus
Viral's OP
Morpheus
is pretty
should
good.
definitely be the OP, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's honestly
Partly
the best
because
one in the
it's
thread.
also partly because it would piss a lot of people off.
Yeah,
so-
if you go back to that page in the PDF that shows both the screens and has that nice little collage, I think that's really well done design, and I think that should be the OP.
Yeah, just use that one. That
Yeah.
whole page.
All right, so that's nice. I thought we would have had a discussion because, yeah, obviously it's either this rice or this rice. I would say. I tend,
Or the square with the bad calendar, but the bad calendar disqualifies it.
yeah.
Orpheus
don't-
is-
I
it's
don't-
just-
I
it's
think
like it's the best one in the
These are
thread,
just
honestly.
like that much better than that is still. I think viral can really make it good, but
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think it's there yet. So
Maybe
yeah,
next
for me
thread.
it was between the Orpheus Morpheus and the snake. Solid. Yeah, snake. So
Morpheus drinking a Fortius in a death basket. Hey, if you've made it this far, if you actually listen to us talk about shitty shit on 4chan for like an
1
hour
hour and
now.
20 minutes at
Yes.
right now.
So obviously you care enough to listen to us talk, even though we don't have brains. So
Please like,
tell us.
subscribe, and hit that bell button.
Hit that motherfucking bell button. Smash
No.
subscribe.
Smash
Have you heard of Twitch Prime? No. What I'm saying is though, is if you have suggestions on what you want us to talk about, other than just ricing, and how you want us to structure it, or ways that we can improve it, other than having Kelp get a better mic and having me get a better mic, please let us know. That would be super beneficial, because seriously, like, it's just we're three autists making a a fucking fake podcast for 12
Wait,
more
Adrift comes on
autists.
sometimes. You gotta mention Adrift.
Dude, I want Adrift to host one time, but basically, yeah. So just tell us how to fucking make it not shit. Like, seriously,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
drop a
help
comment,
us be
tell us
better.
what you think, and make sure to hit that subscribe button or ring the bell.
Oh, and shit posts in the comments section are also appreciated.
If you don't want to dox yourself because your dumbass used your real name for your YouTube account,
Yeah,
then
drop
just
by the IRC.
drop by the IRC and then shit on me or Noise or Kali or
post
Adrift
in
or
the thread.
Mango.
It also works.
The duck is on at American times. Me and Noise are on at European times.
I'm on
So
all the time.
I'm also on at European times because my sleep is retarded. But or just reply when we post this on YouTube. We'll make a post on the thread and reply to that post with suggestions. Like, the more suggestions you give, the more things we can incorporate, and the better it'll be for everybody.
Yeah.
My mom is literally fucking calling me incessantly, telling me to fucking leave. So I gotta
Alright.
go. I don't
yeah,
live with my
this is
mom.
it.
She's picking me up for a family dinner, by the way. I'm not a fucking neat loser. I'm a student.
Disclaimer. All right,
Anyway, bye.
let's just wrap this up. That was thread review. That was the review of thread 193. Listen to the duck. He definitely does live with his mom. And that was it. Thanks for watching,
can
I guess.
confirm.
Bye bye.